Welcome to the K-State Sodcast. I'm pleased to be joined today by Doug Melchior. Doug is he oversees the Overland Park golf courses. And Doug, you can clarify for me. We're out here at Sykes Lady Golf Course, and correct me if I'm wrong. 27 holes of three 9-hole courses, north, south, and west links, and then a par 3 that is here as well. And then you've also got St. Andrews, is that right?
That is correct. My official title is Manager of Golf and Grounds for the City of Overland Park, and we do have 27 regulation holes here at Sykes Lady. The 9-hole par 3 is a first tee facility. Been there since, I think we've been members for quite a while. And then we have a 18-hole facility that the city has, and it's St. Andrews, which is just a mile down the street.
K-State graduate. We don't have to talk years. K-State graduate, and you were in my class not long after I got to K-State. I remember that. What led you? What was your path to where you are? How did you get here? What drew your interest into this?
Great question. I loved the game of golf growing up. I loved spending time outside. I had a passion of mowing the grass, a little OCD with straight lines, and kind of right then and there I knew that I needed to do something outside. I just didn't know which way I wanted to go. My family at the time was diehard KU people. So I chose to go to KU, a little closer to home. Had some personal matters going on at the time when I was at home attending KU, and I finally figured out what I wanted to do, and I wanted to go into the golf business. Believe it or not, I spent several hours with my advisor at KU trying to make my own degree. It didn't work out. So I transferred at a semester in December. Had some friends of mine from high school that were up there, and transferred. And it's really, as I look back on it, it was probably one of the hardest decisions I've made. But I will also tell you, it's been one of the best decisions that I've made. When I went to school, I won't say the date, but there wasn't golf course management degree. I have a degree in agriculture. That's what my diploma says, with emphasis in horticulture.
Right.
So I'm kind of showing my age there a little bit, but it was definitely a great experience for me. A great decision that I made going to K-State, graduating from K-State, and I'm very, very fortunate.
Good.
I did an internship here with the city for 2 summers, and then the third summer is when I got offered a full-time job with the city by Sandy Queen. I started full-time in 1994 as an entry level. The city calls them golf course attendant ones.
Right.
And I have worked my way to where I am right now as manager of golf and grounds. Some 27 years later.
Right. But that's quite a path you've taken and what you've done. And impressive. What you've done.
I will. Well, thank you for that. But I will share that I'm very passionate about golf here, public golf, City of Overland Park. It's very, very unheard of. As you've done a Sodcast with Lauren, it's very unheard of to be at one place your whole career.
I agree.
And I will be at one place my whole career.
That's good.
Yeah.
And as you said, that's unusual.
Very.
Just like it is in Major League Baseball and basketball and football.
Very true, Jack.
We don't have any George Bretts anymore, right? They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. And the most impressive thing, and part of the reason that I'm here, public course, Kansas City area, Overland Park, and you're dealing with more rounds of golf than anybody in Kansas, to my knowledge. Interrupt me if I'm wrong. And probably the Midwest in general. I would think you're right up there in terms of number of rounds.
With the number of rounds we have, we are one of the busiest golf courses definitely in the Midwest.
Yes.
Especially when you take into consideration we're in the transition zone. We're not in the South Texas where they have better weather, throughout the whole year. So we're not quite to our 1999, 2000, 2001 numbers, but during this pandemic, the last 18 months, the golf has seen a big boom.
What's your number of rounds suspected in 2021?
Well, right now for 2021 for Sykes Lady, we'll be right around 115 to 120.
Okay.
That does not include St. Andrews.
Right.
That does include the par 3 golf course though.
Wow.
So we're going to be pretty close to 90 to 95,000 rounds on the main course and almost 30 out on the par 3.
Wow. And when the pandemic started, like a lot of golf courses, there was nervousness, right? You didn't know what was going to happen during the pandemic, and yet you saw the spike in rounds.
We saw the spike in rounds. We closed for 4 days once the initial shutdown happened, and then we worked with Johnson County, and we started operating out of 50% occupancy basically every other tee time, and we were full every single day, and we operated that way for 8 weeks.
Okay.
And then we were allowed to go to every tee time, but allowed single ridership.
Yeah.
And I thought that I had seen a lot in my career, but you will do a double take every time you see 4 carts coming down the fairway with 4 people in them. It's like you cringe as a superintendent, as a manager, and you see that round after round after round after round. Yeah.
That's crazy. How do you deal with maintenance when you're dealing with that many rounds on the golf course? I mean, we talk to private courses and they might have 20,000, maybe 30 at the most. And here you are, again, several courses, as you said, 4 9-hole, one's a par 3.
54 holes of golf.
115,000 rounds. How do you deal with mowing, fertilization, aerification, irrigation, all those things with all those rounds?
Jack, that's a great question. Golf course superintendents, we're all professionals, and I love that part of the whole aspect of it. I will tell you this, that we basically all do the same thing. We just have a different piece of property. We have to tweak our schedules a little bit different here and there. The mowing aspect of it becomes a challenge. I mean, setting up the golf course is very similar to the private side. You get out and you stay ahead of play, and the initial setup, the getting ready for the day's play is the easy part. The rest of the time I'm trying to mow fairways in play and mowing rough and working on irrigation. Those become the challenges dealing with that. We don't stop a lot. We may upset a few customers along the way, but that's part of public golf. And when you talk about fertilization, that's probably the one I really want to hit on. We with the amount of play that we do have, our fertility is very, very high. It would be something, Jack, that you would not teach in the classroom.
Yeah, so maybe don't tell me. But that is the recommendation. The more traffic, the more compaction, all those things that you're getting, you have to raise that nitrogen rate.
When I started, superintendent and was in charge of the day-to-day operations here in 2001, 2002. Our end levels on our greens were around 8 to 9 pounds of nitrogen per year, which was completely unheard of.
Yeah.
You would cringe teaching that to your turf class.
No,
and then we started to go down in rounds a little bit, so our fertility dropped off a little. We still have the older variety here at Sykes Lady. We still have Pencross. So that's changed a little bit. And now that we've gotten back into our heyday, we're up to 8 or 9 pounds of nitrogen a year on our greens. Mark Shableski, who is the superintendent down at St. Andrews, they have A1, A4, and his fertility level is, it's not quite as aggressive as that, but it would be more than what you would normally see for the newer varieties of bent, the A1, A4s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's very interesting what you deal with and how you have to match your maintenance to meet those levels of play. It's unique.
It's very unique. I will tell you, kind of along those same lines, is the core part of the golf course, Jack, is very, very good. Tees, greens, fairways, immediate rough is good to excellent.
I have played all the courses, and I would say that that's true. And I'm especially very attentive of the rough, because that's usually what I'm in.
Yeah. Well, the game of golf is meant to be played in the fairway, but we all tend to find the rough. And that's probably one of the big differences. Country clubs or the private side focus on the detail work. They have a horticulturist, they have flowers, they have plants, they have landscape beds. They can do a lot of edging, a lot of detail work, and that's probably one of the biggest differences. And I feel like I have a really good eye for detail. We just don't have the staff to be able to accommodate some of that. So we that's why we concentrate so much on our core, tees, greens, and fairways. We are here to provide recreation for our patrons and for the citizens for the city of Overland Park.
Sure.
And so we can't lose track of that. We all want to push. We all want to do more. We know what we're capable of, but at the end of the day, we have to know who our customer is too.
Sure. Not a private place, but you do have, in fact, I am one, a member of the courses here. It gives you a discount every time you play. How much feedback do you get from members regarding the golf course?
That's really another good question. I've been with the city for a long time, and I would say that my interaction or complaints from members, from golfers, from citizens is very, very minimal, if you can believe that. The golf shop staff, they probably get more than what I do, but I deal more with homeowners that surround the golf courses, especially over at West Links, with noise complaints, things along that line. So not a lot, and that's really a good thing. We really do try to provide quality conditions throughout the whole entire year. We don't close. The only day we're officially closed is Christmas. So if it's nice on Thanksgiving, people are out here playing golf, and that's what it's all about, being a public facility.
Labor's an issue throughout the industry right now. How are you doing regarding labor at all these courses you're maintaining? And how do you go about attracting folks to come out here and work?
If you have a good answer for that, I'm all ears, because we're still trying to figure that out.
Would you say that's one of the more difficult things that you deal with here?
Definitely one of the most difficult things. This year was very, very, very unique. In past years, we've always had an applicant pool. We've always had people to choose from. This past year in 2021, we hired everybody that put in an application, so there was not as many. Some didn't make it through the process of becoming a City of Overland Park employee for one reason or the other, and we need to look at pay, for one. I think that we need to be able to market who we are. being able to work outdoors, enjoy the game of golf, some of the benefits that you get, free golf, things along that line. It's going to become a challenge. Yeah. We do hire what I would call retirees, and even that pool is getting smaller and smaller.
Wow.
So we definitely have our work cut out for us.
Yes, you do. Yeah. You've also been very involved with the Heart, even with GCSA, just came back from a tournament, as you said, down in Arizona. How important is that involvement with the industry and peers at other locations, would you say?
I think that the involvement with the Heart of America and GCSAA I think it's priceless. As I mentioned earlier in this meeting here, we're professionals, and I wish we were bigger advocates of that, because if you go see a doctor, they always talk about how they're professionals. Well, we're just as big as professionals. I have a degree in this. All of my peers have degrees.
Yes.
And it's a very, very small fraternity of women and men that are in this industry, and it's a very close-knit group. And as I indicated earlier, we all do the same thing. We just do it at a different place, and we tweak our work schedules accordingly. But we all really do the same thing day in and day out. And there's so many great people in this industry. A lot of my good friends, best friends, are in the industry. I still talk to people that I went to college with at K-State that are still in the industry. But I'll tell you this, Jack. Sandy definitely became a father figure for me, and he told me how important it was to be involved with the local chapter, and then to be involved with the national chapter, and I took that to heart.
Right.
And I really wanted to be part of that whole program and give back to the people that have given so much to this great game of golf. And if it's attending meetings or helping out with events or going to scholarship and research tournaments, it's the least that I can do to kind of keep this game going.
I agree. And with the labor situation the way it is, I know GCSA is now going to another level to try and help with that across the industry. And I think all of superintendents as individuals can do, as you say, promote that professionalism to those that are working with them, and say there's opportunities here, career-wise.
There's great opportunities. I know that there's a stigma out there that everybody wants to go to the big internships, the big name country clubs, have that on your resume.
Right.
I never did that.
Right.
But I grew up here in Overland Park, and I just wanted to give back where I grew up at. I grew up playing here.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is an old wives' tale, but they also say that if you do something that you really enjoy, then it's not work.
Right.
And I truly believe that.
That's
I mean,
true.
there are days that are better than others.
Yeah.
But I still have a passion for it. I love the game of golf. I love to play.
Yeah.
And
I've played with you in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You're very good.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's going back to your question. I think it's very important to give back to the Heart. Be able to volunteer at the national level.
Right.
And I think that's the least that I could do.
That's great. I think you've answered this. The most difficult part of the position you have here. We said labor. Is there something else you'd want to throw in terms of difficulty?
It's really another really good question. Labor is definitely one of them. Before we were talking a little bit earlier, the life balance, the life balance between family and work is a big issue. You need to be able to manage that accordingly. Especially when you're young, you want to work, you want to be there, you want to be able to prove yourself. I was that person as well. as you grow older, I guess you get more wiser. At least that's what they say. At least that's what I hope that I'm doing. But it's just really trying to find the right people, hire the right people for the position, surround yourself with good quality professional individuals, and it will be really, you will get a lot of satisfaction out of that, Jack.
And what's the most positive or rewarding thing you experience?
I think the most positive thing is seeing people out here because they want to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is recreation.
Sure.
You want them to have fun. If you see people out here having fun, then you get a little pride in that. And then just knowing at the end of the day that you tried your best and it looks good. You take pride in how the golf course looks. Aesthetics is a huge part of golf, and knowing that to get personal satisfaction out of that goes a long way. So those are a lot of rewarding things for me, and I've had several employees come through here, whether they were part-time help, attendant ones, attendant twos on the full-time, that have gone on to other golf courses, and now they're successful. I like that. I mean, this isn't we don't have a great internship program, but I've always told the superintendents that are underneath me, this isn't about me. This is about educating you, teaching you to be ready to take my job or to take a job somewhere else. My job is to coach you up to the next level. You understand this. Every day you're on the job, you're interviewing. You don't know what for, probably, but you're always interviewing for something somewhere. Somebody's always watching you. I always tell my kids that.
I know what you mean. And related back to the heart again, 2021 Chester Mendenhall Award went to you, right?
That is correct.
That's recognition of what you've completed in this industry, right? Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a big honor.
Yes, I agree. So here's a difficult question. Are you going to root for KU or K-State when they play this weekend? And it is November 2021.
It is November 2021, and yes, I will be rooting for the KU Jayhawks.
You're not supposed to say that.
That is correct. This Sodcast may not be published after this.
But if K-State's playing somebody else besides KU,
I will root for K-State.
A positive.
Yes,
right.
That is
Definitely
true.
Positive.
True story, Jack. I only own one thing that says K-State on it, and that's my diploma.
Well, put it on the wall with
it's
lights.
On the wall
with lights.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Is there anything we've left out that you'd like to throw in? Have we covered things well?
I think we've covered a lot of good things. I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to have such a good career with the city of Overland Park. I still have a long ways to go before I can retire. I think the one thing I would like to say, you were talking about the heart and GCSAA. It really is a small fraternity of a group of women and men, and everybody does really care about each other, and my personal experience will show that. And the We Won tournament was awesome.
Good.
I really like giving back to that.
Yeah, and explain briefly what it is for those that may not know.
It's that foundation has done a lot for me. I know Brent Stevenson's been kind of the leader of that here locally. He's had a lot of help from John O'Leary. I know I'm leaving off some names there. It started for Mr. Price that was at Tiffany at the time, where we lost a good person there. But it's a foundation to help superintendents and their families deal with hardship. And it's been a fundraiser, and it has taken over across the country. So I'm very lucky, very fortunate for that, and I would just like to tell everybody thanks for the support of that, and being able to give back to the people that are in our industry. It's really a blessing for sure.
That's good to know.
And I think I'll kind of finish on this, and I kind of mentioned it earlier. I mean, I grew up in Kansas City, lived in Overland Park my whole life, and I absolutely love it out here. I wouldn't want to leave. I wouldn't want to go any other place. Like I said, I still have some work to do. My work's not finished yet, but just been blessed for sure.
Doug, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. Thank you all for watching the Sodcast.